Hi, welcome. Well, happy May. Here we are in May. First of all, we'd like to give our thoughts and prayers for Officer Boyle over in Robbinsville. If you've seen it on the news, there's a law called move over law. I don't know if everybody's aware of it, where you move over. If you see an officer pulling someone over or for safety or whatever, you are supposed to move over. This person actually struck the officer, and thank goodness he's fine. So thoughts and prayers to Officer Boyle in Robbinsville, so close to home on that. So we'll get the adequate notice of this meeting of the Lawrence Township Council being held on Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023, has been provided through the posting of the annual meeting schedule of said council in accordance with Section 13 of the Open Public Meeting Act. Said notice was forwarded to the Trentonian, the Times, and the Ledger on December 11th, 2022. Madam Clerk, may we have the inspiration, please?
May we carry out our work at this meeting in a just, honorable, and sincere manner, always bearing in mind our duties and continuing to keep Lawrence a wonderful community in which to live.
Madam Clerk, can we have the Bob Watson with the
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry about that, Colonel. I was a little slow. Madam Clerk, may we have the roll call, please?
Mr. Bobbitt?
Here.
Mr. Kanaki?
Here.
Ms. McDuff?
Here.
Mr. Powers?
Here.
Mayor Ryan?
Here. We have special proclamations, recognitions, and presentations, which is pretty cool. We have a bunch of presentations to give out. On this is Citizens of the Year Award on the ballots. And it's hard to pick from one. There was a ballot through council, and they came down. So we're going to give out some awards here. We'll do it short and sweet. The first award, it's the Youth Award. It's an individual who was 18 years old or younger. And there was 4 nominees on this, on that. And the award goes to, it's an 11-year-old who was involved for many years in multiple volunteer projects who support Lawrence residents struggling with homelessness, food insecurities, and equity. She's a 6th grader honor roll student, LIS. Whereas a member of the Social Justice Club, she's a member of the Lawrence Neighbor Together Youth Advisory Group. Volunteers at New Beginnings Food Pantry, my word, throughout the pandemic, helping pack food, sorts, stock and shelves, bags to families in need. She's helped in various community events, books, clothing, distribution, just amazing. She has helped prepare hot meals and beverages to donate and then help distribute them to the unhoused. This is amazing. An 11-year-old young lady. And I am privileged to say the winner, Camelia Corella Martinez. Family should be so proud of you. Would you like to say something? Well, thank you so much. Now, our second one. Right here. Our second one is the Leadership Award. It's an individual who demonstrates community impact through a leadership role. This award is often given to a person who is current or past member of the committee, task forces, boards, directors, or community organizations. On that, we had some nominees there. On that, there was 4 also on that. And the winner here was nominated twice by herself. No, only kidding. She has done wonderful stuff. In fact, I just saw her. We were at the NMRI Nature Center. We were also at the lake cleaning up last week on that, and she is everywhere. She just gives back to the community. The winner is Annette Loveless. It's just a little, I mean, Annette works tirelessly to help the community greener, more sustainable. She's everywhere, everywhere. We appreciate her efforts. She advocates for the need for thoughtful, comprehensive environment evaluations plans. It goes on and on. I mean, and this is just condensed version of what Annette does for our community, and we really appreciate all the community that helps in here. If it wasn't for the community on this, so let me grab this for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm super grateful and appreciative, and I'd like to dedicate this to my father, Nicholas Loveless, who's been my inspiration, and I saw him giving to the community and doing work, and I want to thank him and everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you. And everyone here that were nominated are well deserving of this, and we appreciate all that. But someone had to pick it, and I can tell you it came down to a draw, and I bowed out of that one when I saw the Girl Scouts. I'm like, no, I'm on that. So we have the Lifetime Achievement Award. This is a volunteer whose lifetime of service exemplifies notable achievement in the community service. The award has typically been given to a volunteer who's over 60. I wouldn't know that yet. Years of age. But I think everyone knows this nominee. I know I have known this nominee for 30 some years. We've been in the community a really long time. What you saw is what you get. And on this, I'd like to bring up Councilman Kanaki on this, if you wouldn't mind giving the award for this, please.
I have Mary Ann, Christian, his brother, Pat's brother Toad, sister-in-law Susie, Kelly, and Catalina.
My pants stay up.
You need a belt, don't you?
Oh, here, Chris, you can.
For me, one word for each ride, Pat Colby for me. One being my cousin. Besides that, wow. The list could go on and on. for what he has done in this township. So, keeping it short, it is a great honor that I present tonight's Lifetime Achievement Award to my late friend, Pat Colvito, whose wife Mary Ann is here to accept this award, along with his son Christian, his brother Toji, sister-in-law Susie, and his granddaughter and daughter-in-law are sitting here. They should come up front with us. But he was a lifetime resident of Lawrence and dedicated most of his life to, he was a lifetime resident of Lawrence and dedicated his life to our community as a teacher, public servant, and a volunteer. People often said Pat was ambassador of Lawrence or the face of Lawrence. I called him the Gov of Lawrence. And it's important to understand why. It's not just because he was so deeply involved. Trust me, he was. His list of accomplishments is long. What makes Pat special was his ability to touch people's hearts and minds. He made everybody feel safe. Pat also did the work. He built long-lasting friendships and connections with people and organizations all around town. Served in an elected position on Lawrence Township School Board as president, vice president, Lawrence Township Council, as mayor 2 terms, and Mercer County Board of Chosen Commissioners. Dedicated 16 years to the Mercer County Make-A-Wish charity. Volunteered at St. Lawrence Rehab Foundation for 15 years. He worked helped in the soup kitchen, the Board of Social Services. He was on the board of directors for Lawrence Sewage Authority. He was a man of faith, an usher of St. Anne's Church for 40 years. Pat was a well-respected teacher for over 40 years. He taught speech in elementary school children. I heard that he was such a great teacher that kids who did not have speech problems would try to fake a speech just so they could go to his class. Pat was a man I deeply admired, someone who embraced the spirit of volunteerism and leadership. Any town would be proud to have had Pat, but we were the lucky ones. Whether we realize it or not, Pat's legend lives on in each of us here. That's because the actions that we take today touch the people of tomorrow. To the minds, this was his greatest legend. That is why tonight we celebrate the life of Pat Colvito with the Lifetime Achievement Award for the Citizen of the Year. And we are honored to have his wife, Mary Ann, his son, Christian, brother, Toji, sister-in-law, Susie, and his daughter-in-law, and his granddaughter here tonight with him to accept his award on behalf of Pat.
I'd like to thank Jim and the mayor and the rest of the council members for giving Pat this very prestigious award. I know he would have been over the moon with it. For the exception of the first 6 weeks of his life, he lived his entire life in Lawrence Township. He would never move. He just loved it here. And I'm so very proud to have been his wife. We miss him dearly. And again, thank you for this award.
I just like to add to that, Pat, knowing Pat all these years, he was impeccably dressed. Everything, I'm wearing a pocket square because of Pat. Has to match the tie. So we went to an event, and it was at Councilman Powers. I go over there, and I see this handsome man sitting there. And I see him in a pair of shorts. He has lobsters on. I look at his socks. They match. He's got a nice collared shirt, stripe and stuff like that. Was Pat. Oh, and his glasses always matched. Always different glasses. So when you saw Pat out, you knew it was Pat. And there was a big old smile and a wave. Hi, how are you? So well deserved. And we miss Pat on that. So this one, it's a small group. It's well, not a small group, actually. Look at this. A group of 10 or fewer volunteers who could find. Volunteer efforts have strengthened in the community. There was 2 nominations on it. And this is going to be tough because I want to know who the nominee were, the Lawrence Township Patriotic Committee. Now, this committee, it's the Lawrence Township, it was organized to promote patriotism within the Lawrence Township. The committee meets once a month with the Lawrence Recreation Department, Nancy Bergen, and my goodness, if it wasn't for Nancy, on that one, taking notes and whoo, in that, it's to assist the planning of the patriotic events in the township to remember and honor the armed forces of the United States. The committee takes a very active role in the township patriotic ceremonies, organization structures. They have volunteered in the ceremonies in many ways as master of ceremony, color guard, grand marshal, and many additional responsibilities. And I've been in a few of those meetings, and we have Navy, Army, Marines, Air Force, and I'm not, who's the better branch, by the way? No. Only kidding. Only kidding on that one. In the meetings, that's where everything gets done, like on the Memorial Day parade, everything gets sit at the table and we'll go back and forth and Nancy's taking notes and it's, Colonel Bob, did you get this, that? Jimmy, did you get the bagpipers? Well, not, do we have the check-in one? Or we got the hot dogs? We're on this. I mean, it goes back and forth and Nancy's just taking the notes down. And yeah, I'll look into it. It is a team effort on this group. Steve Arnold, Mary Ann, we're so glad you're feeling better. I'm telling you on that, because you've been through some, yes, that and back on that. So if you don't mind, the Patriotic Committee, please come on up and accept this award on this. This is such a big group and such dedicated and Colonel Bob, he runs the Patriotic Committee over in Hamilton. So he comes over and lends a hand and just nonstop. Also, we over at the 112th, the Landridge Crossing. Please, if you haven't been there, they have a new building over there. Go over and see what they have. It's beautiful. Get the tour. the kids. It's amazing on that.
Your panoramic.
Anyone like to say something?
Not me.
No?
Not at all. Say whatever you want.
Covered it.
You couldn't have done it without Nancy. Nancy is the
Glue.
glue that keeps everything, not only on that, the rec department, on that. Yeah, she should get a special award. On that, so.
Yeah.
Good job.
We're going to move right along here on the large group of more than 10 volunteers that have enhanced the community through their volunteer achievements. And it is the Lawrence, and I'll tell you what, on this with Andy Nard, you were a part of this because I was also a coach on the Lawrence Hammond Soccer is winning this award. It's been in Lawrence 1957. The club volunteers are a positive influence for the youth involved in the club activities, the club services. About 600 youths in that on soccer. It's in our goal to provide soccer environment, stress relaxed, fun oriented. And I can tell you, I was a coach for the kids. Andy, at the time, my youngest Hannah, who's now 31, was a coach, and he was coaching at the time and got deployed. And I remember Hannah sending him a letter overseas on that and getting a response. And we appreciate not only on the Patriotic Committee, but also the Hamlet and just giving up all of your time on that. We really appreciate all that. So the Lawrence Hamlet Soccer Association, come on down. Thanks for giving back. There you go.
Yeah, I just want, I'm Nicholas Curley, president of the Hammocks, and I just want to say that it's not lost on anyone that the landscape of youth for youth sports has changed dramatically since 1957. But for 66 years, our organization has provided a place where kids can have fun, learn about the game, and actually aspire to greater heights, not only in high school, college, and professionally. I'm really proudly part of this organization. I grew up in the organization myself. I want to thank Mo Crosby, Dan Spiteri, Ernie Cerrone, Kirk LeCompte, Greg Robb, and who's missing? And Kay Vital. They have put in countless hours for the good of the community. And our reward is to go out there on a Saturday or Sunday and just watch these guys just have so much fun. And the give back is just tremendous. My guess is that there's, in this room, there's probably, if you ever coached, played, had a daughter or son play, almost every hand would go up. For that, I thank you very much for being part of us, and also thank the township for the use of your fields and the support, cutting the grass, Kevin putting up all the complaints. So thank you very much for your support, and thank you very much for the support and this recognition. Thank you.
All right. right, last but not least on this, there were 2 nominations, and it's the art, culture, and diversity. It's an individual or group providing service to an organization and activities that promotes art, culture, and diversity within our community. On the 2 nominees, and the one is everyone on this really deserves an award for giving back to the community on this. But they had pick on this, and it's the Lawrenceville Main Street Lawrence Township Education Foundation on that, and they do the annual Spring Arts Festival. Nonprofit is working together for the past year to provide a nice service event, performing artists and professional music. The event mostly runs through volunteers, which it does. If you go up there, it's just amazing what they do at Wheaton Park and all the events they have off of Creighton Lane. And it just brings the people and our community together. If you haven't, they have all this stuff up there, bands and food, and just an amazing to get out there and just mingle on that. So with the Lawrenceville Main Street and Lawrence Township Education Foundation, come on up. That's fine. No, come on up.
Picture.
Come on in. Come on in.
This Saturday,
There you go.
from 12 to 4, Spring for the Arts, benefiting both of our organizations. It's an amazing day. We're going to have food and vendors and bands. We have students performing. We have community members performing. Make sure to stop into LES, where one of our stages has been moved inside this year. So make sure to come check that. There's going to be a lot of students up there. And yes, it's all volunteer driven. So if you ever want to volunteer for Lawrence Main Street or the Education Foundation, please reach out.
Yeah, we'll do that. Those who have gotten an award, you don't have to stay through the whole thing. If you can go on this. So, feel free. We're not insulted on this. If you'd like to, we are absolutely fine with it. We appreciate all that you do.
We're staying. Have fun with us.
And it's good seeing everyone.
Can I get a picture? He wore his little pocket square just for the photo.
You're welcome. Come on. Thank you so much. Be careful going home.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
Thank you. All right, here we go. This is public participation, 5 minutes limitation, please. Is there anyone for public participation? Seeing none, hearing none. We'll move on. Review and revision of the agenda, none.
Mayor, I think.
Oh, we did, yeah,
Yeah,
this
Mayor,
time.
there was a typo in 10A. I think the 24-23 dash 22 was reversed. And then D1 for the resolutions, just an update on the agenda. We'll move that.
They couldn't hear.
Mayor, I'll move to correct the typo in D1 and resolution 10A.
Mhm.
Second.
Mr. Bobbitt,
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki,
Yes.
Ms. McDuff,
Yes.
Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes. Adoption of minutes of previous meetings. Can I get a motion? None on that? All right, we're awarding and rejecting the bids, none. Introduction of ordinance. Can I get a motion for 10A?
Mayor,
Mr.
I'll,
Mayor, or
Oh,
pardon
I'm
me,
sorry.
Councilman,
Go.
I would like to make a motion to table this ordinance. I had requested, I got some great information from the manager, which I greatly appreciated. I sent him a couple follow-ups. He didn't have a chance to get back to me. I would feel that I cannot make an informed vote with that information. So if either we could get the information now, otherwise in the alternative, I would like to move to table it until the next meeting. We can get all the information from the manager.
Mayor, point of order. We just went over a review and revision of the agenda. And
Oh.
that wasn't brought up, so.
That's my apologies. I thought you had to table it. That's me. I apologize, Councilman. I mean, we can go forward.
This is really important. It's been delayed a long time, and it involves improvements that need to be made at the Lawrence Township Police Department. So if you have questions, maybe we're in a position to answer them now.
Yeah.
I didn't see your emails. I
Oh, sorry. All
apologize
right.
to you.
Yep. Just give me 1 sec. Sorry, let me try my mic. Yeah,
I also sent one to you and I didn't get an answer on that.
Yeah.
that's why I brought my.
Mayor, point of order, could we move and second the motion, then have some discussion on it?
Yes.
Okay. Mayor, I'll move 10A, ordinance number 2447-23, ordinance amending ordinance 2228-16 by the Township of Lawrence County, Mercer, State of New Jersey, in order to provide the description of the improvement herein, reintroduced due to lack of required votes.
Second.
Mr. Bobbitt?
No.
Oh, no,
Hold
sorry
on.
about that.
Yes.
This is our discussion moment.
I'm sorry.
Point of order. Now, it's on the table now. We can't.
Councilwoman?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
thank you. All right, so
Well, let me just make a statement first, if you don't mind, Mayor. May I?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Thank you. This is the third time that this request to revise the description of a bond ordinance has put before you. The first time, in March 7th, it was put before you and it passed with a vote of 4-1, with Ms. McDuff being the lone no vote. This
Oh,
requires.
Councilwoman McDuff, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yes, Councilwoman, I'm sorry.
and there was a snafu with regard to the publication of it in the newspaper, so we had to do it again. And so it was put forward again. And my assumption was the vote was going to go the exact same way, and it did not. The mayor changed his vote from yes to no without explanation, and the bond ordinance amendment failed because it did not have the necessary 4 votes. After the first time it was passed, and I sent an email out to everybody dated February 15th, providing a complete description of the purpose of the amendment to the bond ordinance. And didn't receive any follow-up questions with regard to that. So when the vote came back 3-2, it didn't pass. So I'm committed to keep introducing it until we get the required votes that we need. Councilperson McDuff did send an email to me that I spent some time providing her with a lot of information. I left the office at like 3:30 or something like that today. And so I apologize that I didn't receive your follow-up. But, so at this point,
No, they're
if
just
we can,
two
if we can
quick
try,
follow-ups.
we'll do it. I think I have the police chief here as well. So, and also our public works director here. So let's see if we can get the answers that you need.
Awesome, thank you. So the first one is just a quick one because I got a lot of the information I need from the email. So just, so box A of, make sure I'm directing you to the correct one, of 10C, the language seems duplicative in that as it does in 10A. So I just want to see that we're not appropriating funds to buy the same equipment twice in two separate ordinances. Because to me, it seems like A would thus encompass, or excuse me, C would, box A in 10C would encompass what is being asked of in 10A, the ordinance.
So ordinance 10A is requesting an amendment to revise the description of a bond ordinance that was previously passed. 10C is a capital improvement fund. So they're two separate mechanisms.
But are they not buying the same, my question is, are they
No.
buying the same equipment or they're
No,
buying separate
no.
equipment?
Separate.
Okay, that was just my question on that. And then, I mean, I guess I can wait and I'll ask my question about 10C when we come to 10C. So that's all I had for 10A. Thank you.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bobbin,
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki,
Yes.
Ms. McDuff,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes. Can I get a motion for 10B, please?
Mayor, move 10B ordinance number 2448-23, ordinance providing for various road improvements, mill and overlay, including all work and materials in and by the Township of Lawrence and County of Mercer, New Jersey, appropriating $1,697,462.29 in state and local fiscal recovery funds, SLFRF, Tranche 2 revenue replacement, and appropriating an additional $775,000 in capital improvement funds for a total of $2,472,462.29.
That's a mouthful.
Second.
This is simply a part of our road improvement program.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bobbin,
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki,
Yes.
Ms. McDuff,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Mayor, move 10C, ordinance number 2449-23, ordinance appropriating $5,185,000 from the capital improvement fund for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Lawrence and the County of Mercer, New Jersey.
Second.
May I ask a question of the manager? It's the one that, the second one from earlier, email, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, please.
Just a quick clarification, in box B, the body and vehicle cameras are for the police department, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
And also, it's for the the vehicle, they all
For the police department,
for the police department.
correct.
Very good, thank you. Let's see. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bobbin,
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki,
Yes.
Ms. McDuff,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes. Adoption of ordinances. Before the manager's report, can I bring up something we've had with the police here also? We had a lot of awards presentations, but they used to come here. Is there a reason why we don't do that with their family
Point
anymore?
of order, Mr. Mayor. Can we do that under new business, please?
If you would like. Managers report.
I just have one thing to report. Today, Mr. Kirikotis informed me that our recycling for the year 2024, that's done by the county, is going to more than double in cost from approximately 30 some odd $1,000 a month to about $70,000 a month. So that's something that we are going to have to deal with and prepare for in the future. And that's all.
Sorry, you said that's gonna be 2024, Mr. Manager?
Correct.
Thank you.
Any questions? Attorney's report.
I have nothing for the public session, Mayor. I'll hold my comments for the closed session.
Clerk's report.
I have nothing.
Unfinished business. New business. Here we go. Is there, with the awards for the police, Mr. Nowinski, we're not doing that anymore, the presentations for the awards?
I have made no decision with regard to that. Police chief, but do you have something?
Yeah, it's just with the amount of turnover in the department the past year and a half coming out of COVID, we're putting it together hopefully for June of this year to do last year's and this year's. So
Very
we'll
good.
get that to council.
Very good, because it's a nice event.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then we saw Lieutenant Smith retire today, I believe, right? After 26 years. I've known him a long time. I was down in Long Beach Island.
He's a great
So-
guy, a great loss to the police department.
Absolutely. Very good. New business. None, is there any? Public participation, we have 3 minutes. Limitation, is there any public participation? Seeing none, we're going to close public participation. On that, hearing none. Mike, can I get F1 a separate
Sure,
and F2, please?
okay,
Also H1 and H2.
okay.
So.
All right. I got it.
All right.
He's got it,
Mayor,
he's got 20 years.
Mayor, I'll move 18D1 and H3.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bobbitt,
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki,
Yes.
Ms. McDuff,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Okay, now, Mayor, I'll move 18 to F1, 2, and H1 in a block.
Second.
And two, I'm sorry, Mayor.
On that.
Did you get my second?
So
Just a question,
before that, Mr. Mayor, if I may, what was your final motion?
Oh, all right, so real quick, 18 F1, 2, H1, and H2 in a block.
Second.
we're going to do the H1 and H2 separate, right? Not in a block?
That's
Mr.
what I
Mayor, we
told
just,
you.
I thought we were
Right.
doing each of those separate.
Right, that's what I asked for.
we just moved them.
F1, F2,
Right, F1.
But I added H1,
H1
and 2. I'm
and
sorry, Mayor.
H2. That's what I asked for.
Okay. Mr. Roscoe.
Mr. Roscoe's?
Can
I
You
asked,
can make a motion to amend and do what the mayor is asking
Okay,
for, which each individual resolution, Mayor, is what you want to.
yes, that's what I asked
So
for. in
then
the
why don't
beginning.
we just move F1 right now? Somebody move and second F1.
Correct.
so amend the motion?
Yeah, I'll move 18 F1.
Second.
Very good. I just have a question on that, if you don't, what are the labor matters on that, on the F1, Mr. Nowinski, do you know?
I'm not going to identify them in public.
Oh, because I emailed you and I didn't
I
get
did,
it.
and I did provide you with the response. Labor Matters, this is to fund a funding mechanism resolution to fund the a payment for legal services relating to our labor attorney, Armando Riccio, who handles many labor-related matters.
Yeah, I
Has to
saw
do
that.
okay, so you got that
I
response.
saw the attorney, but I didn't know what the labor matter, and
Disciplinary matters, civil service matters, appeals with regard to benefits, everything that's related, labor-related, is what
Okay.
Mr. Riccio does.
that was just my question. Thank you so much. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bobbitt,
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki,
Yes.
Ms. McDuff,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes,
Mayor Ryan.
Yes. Can I get a motion for F2, Mike, please?
Mayor, I'll move 18F2.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bobbitt,
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki,
Yes.
Ms. McDuff,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes,
Mayor Ryan.
Yes. Can I get a motion for H1, please?
Mayor, move 18H1.
Second.
On that, authorizing the recommendation of the planning board, I just want to state that, on that, I voted no on the 3131 on that before. I just feel that there is a sufficient justification, declaring it an area of redevelopment personally myself. I think it just went past the zoning on that this is my personal opinion on it. And you can't compare apples to oranges with Enterprise Avenue and then this right here. Enterprise Avenue was a whole different ballgame down there where the roof was collapsing, fire, hazard. We don't have that in this situation. So, I was in the planning board meeting on that and I'm just making a statement that I am against it. Madam Clerk?
I'd like to make a comment.
Absolutely, go ahead.
This was the subject of a full review by our municipal planner, Elizabeth McManus, who is a licensed planner in the state of New Jersey, who has years and years of experience, who conducted this review and investigation based upon the principles and elements that are contained within the redevelopment law in the state of New Jersey. She went through a systematic analysis of all of those elements and conditions and made a conclusion that that area met the need. And I just said in my manager's report that we just got news of a recycling situation that's going to more than double. And it's things like this that help us stay in front, help us stay moving as a community, help our ratables continue to meet the needs to provide the services for the community, and help us to be financially secure and not look to the residents of Lawrence for maximum tax increases. And so it's this type of vision that it demands investigation, exploration, and ultimately consideration by the planning board members, and finally consideration and vote by the council members. These are important things that we must do as a governing body to make sure our community remains vital and continues to grow and match the needs of the services required by our residents who demand it and expect it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I may?
Councilman, go ahead.
I just wanted to say for the record that, reading the materials that the public doesn't get to see and for this resolution, it says that the planning board first looked at it on March 20th, voted, and it was a 7-1 vote. And then I guess they approved the resolution 4-0 on April 3rd. So I understand your concerns, but at the same time, these are citizens who have volunteered their time and energy to sit through the planning board meetings, hear the evidence, and 7 of them said, yes, we think this should come back to council. So, and reading over the report that KMA provided the planning board and then to us, it talks about that this isn't the end of the road for this project, that it's still, after that, goes back to the planning board, they come up with a redevelopment plan.
Correct.
And even after that, when the applicant has to come before the planning board to do their project, there's still steps to be had. This isn't the end of the story, right? So my feeling, and for the record, and also from my colleagues on council, Mr. Mayor, is that I would be in favor of this to acknowledge the work that the planning board has done, the work that they have done in listening to the evidence and respecting their decision. So I just want to say, thank you.
Very good. Thank
Mayor,
you.
Mayor, if I could put some comments on the record too.
Absolutely.
And as you've indicated, besides Enterprise Avenue, it's not the first time we've done an area in need of redevelopment. We actually did it with Brunswick Avenue, and actually used our taxpayer dollars to pay for that report. And in this case, we were able to get support privately and ease the burden on our taxpayers. So, and as Councilman Bob has pointed out, I know a lot of folks aren't land use attorneys. This vote is not to start building and bulldozing and stuff like that. It is the first step in a process. So there will be other hearings before the planning board, as Councilman Bob has pointed out, where folks will also have the opportunity. There'll be notice to folks too. So this is not anything that's being done in secret in some back room. This is being fully transparent and the first step of the process. So when it comes to the vote for this, I will be voting yes. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Mr. Mayor, can I make just some brief comments?
Yes, Councilwoman.
I just would like to say, so everyone understands my vote, the residents that I've spoken to, nobody has been happy about this. Everybody has expressed great concern to me. I hope that the residents out there and those who are watching on YouTube or listening to it take this as their invitation to come, to get involved, to go to planning board meetings, zoning board meetings, to come here and talk to us. I'm always happy to talk when we're out and about and you just see me on the street, but then that's hard to, bring back to the rest of my fellow council members. So please, there's good to this, there's bad to this, there's gray, bring all of that to us. We want to hear from you. And we appreciate when we get to hear from you in these open settings and other residents get to hear from you as well.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I just want to say, as a planning board member, sat through planning meetings with this to hear this application. It's in need of, the township is willing to take the steps to help move it forward. It's not over, like Mike said. They still got to come back in front of us with other plans. And the planning board will say yes, along with the professional staff, how we move forward with this plan. This is only a plan to say yes. It's in need. Those buildings, my doctor's in one of them buildings. And I think he's the only one other doctor in his building on the first floor that I go to.
I believe it's
The rest is
60% full.
Huh?
Is it 60% full?
I don't
On that?
believe it is. I think it's less than that. I know the
I think it
one,
might be 60% full. Well, that's like splitting hairs, but I'm sorry. My
I
apologies.
feel it's in need of. All right, because it was built in the 70s. And those buildings for renovation will cost them double the amount to put something else in there. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm for the application.
All right, very good. I appreciate it.
And
Thanks for your input.
Mayor, just also, office, after COVID, folks aren't returning to the offices. Office complexes are going the way of the drive-in theater in the 1950s. So and I know we're going to have our master plan re-examined, and that's why we do a master plan re-exam. The uses of the land in Lawrence Township constantly are changing, and I can guarantee 10 years from now, we're going to need less office complexes than we currently have today. Thank you.
No, I understand. I know with the planner that, with the survey that was also done during COVID, which everybody was home during COVID. So that survey was part of 2021 when everybody was home and the offices weren't full.
Mayor, that's not accurate. I want the record to be clear. A redevelopment study was not done and didn't consider the impact of the pandemic. Like doing a traffic study where nobody was on the road. It's a completely different study, taking upon completely different factors and investigation. So it's not like we sent the planner out to go look at a bunch of vacant buildings because they weren't there because of the pandemic. That's not what happened. Her investigation
No, I
was
didn't
much
say
more,
they did it on
Oh, it's-
2021.
it just seems that that you inferred that it was done during the pandemic.
Well, if I did, I
as if-
apologize. No, it
Okay.
wasn't meant to be that way. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Okay, Mr. Bobbitt?
Yes.
Sorry about that. Mr. Kanaki?
Yes.
Ms. McDuff?
No,
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
No. H2.
Mayor, move H2.
Second.
Before we get that, before we do the vote, I just have an important question. Like last week, I was brought to my attention that there's no longer in preserving audio recordings at our closed session meetings now. Madam Clerk, can you tell me who authorized changing this policy?
Well, I had spoken with our township attorney, and I also spoke with Kevin, our manager. And I was speaking with him and speaking with other clerks around. A lot of people do not do recordings, and we don't really have to do recordings. There's no law that says we does. So I decided that I didn't want to, that we decided that we weren't gonna do recordings.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much.
Just a point of order and clarification for the public. The clerk does not work for me or under me. She's appointed to her position and works for
Right,
council.
correct.
So her decision is her decision with regard to the creation of minutes and the functioning of taking down minutes. Solely her. She did her due diligence to ask our township attorney about a process, and her decision was made by her alone because that's her authority to do so.
Mayor, if you'd like to hear from me, I'll tell you what my advice was. This isn't required to be kept by law. We are inundated with Oprah requests every week. We have so many Oprah requests that the clerk's office can't do the business of the clerk's office, but instead has to satisfy all these Oprah requests. If nothing else, this reduces one area where we have to deal with yet another Oprah request. I indicated to her that I would keep notes and she would keep notes, and then we would compare our notes as she prepares the minutes.
Okay, very good. Excuse me. Madam Clerk? Oh, I'm sorry. Motion?
It's on the table right now.
Madam Clerk?
Where are we?
now we're on the vote,
Vote.
Okay,
please.
okay. Mr. Bobbitt?
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki?
Yes.
Ms. McDuff?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes. Thank you. Council initiatives and liaison reports. No, it's fine.
Mr. Mayor, if I may?
You may.
Thank you. It was great to see Annette Lovelace, who is the chair of the Environmental Green Advisory Committee, being given an award.
Yes.
She has been doing a fantastic job with that committee. It was great to see some of the members at Stream Cleanup and also at the dedication for Ann Demery at the Nature Center. I also want to say that the DEI committee has a survey, community survey that's out right now for this month, sort of about your perceptions of whether we're sort of a welcoming community. Take a look at it. It's on the website. And if you have any questions, Craig Dinwiddie is the one that would be the point person to talk to. So those are the two things I have. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Written communications, none. We are going into executive session, correct?
So move.
Second.
We'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. Please be careful going home. Nice seeing everyone.
Stay calm, it's somehow cold on May 2nd. Like,
Hands are out.
What is that?
That's like
What is
literally-
this? Can I get a picture with you?